ऑक्शन के लिए जो लिस्ट लगाई गई उसमें 16-17 साल की लड़कियों के भी नाम शामिल हैं जो न जाने इस वक्त किस साइकोलॉजिकल ट्रॉमा से गुजर रही हैं। आज इस मंच से मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से सवाल करना चाहती हूँ कि आपने शादी की उम्र तो 21 साल कर दी है और इसके पीछे ये लॉजिक लगा दिया है कि इसमें औरत की सेहत का ख्याल रखा गया है, जो बल्कि मैक्सिमम लोगों की समझ के बाहर है। मगर इसी देश में 16 साल की बेटी को का ऑक्शन हो रहा है और आप खामोश हैं। बेटी बचाओ, बेटी पढ़ाओ या बेटी बेचो, प्रधानमंत्री जी। इस सवाल के साथ मैं इनवाइट करती हूँ शायमा यस को। ये सब एडिटर हैं और मैगजीन की और JNU से ये PhD स्कॉलर हैं। ओवर टू शायमा यस।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, thank you to Jamaat-e-Islami Hind Women's Wing for organizing such a program. It is, if not for the third wave that is upon us, I am sure that this protest, many people spoke about how we have to move beyond the online space, and I am sure that if not for that atmosphere that is prevailing right now, many such protests would be in the physical sphere. So what I would like to, first of all, I think we've had a wonderful set of speakers who have brought up many of the issues that I don't think I should repeat. But one aspect that I did want to talk about was, first of all, the idea of innocence, the masumiyat of just these children has been brought up once again. And what children, in quotes. And what I wanted to ask is that when we speak of innocence, when we speak of sirf bacche hain or harm that is being produced as a product of trauma, where is this benefit of doubt or permission of innocence when it comes to the thousands and thousands of Muslim youth who are in jail merely for made up crimes? Where is ये जो हमदर्दी आ रही है society में, who is allowed this kind of innocence? Are Muslim women allowed this kind of innocence, this kind of benefit of doubt? When Yati Narsanganan says that Muslim women are being sent around to sleep with men of other communities so that they can gain power, is this permission of innocence, is this benefit of doubt given to Muslim women? And the answer clearly is no. So those people who have suddenly developed a taste for the idea of restorative justice, that jail does not do any good, we should speak of reform, we should speak of kindness, the people who have discovered restorative justice over retributive justice suddenly should ask themselves that where is this kind of understanding, expansive understanding of justice when it comes to Dalits and Muslims in this country, who are seen as inherently criminal. Many people, many communities who are seen as inherently criminal. Where does this understanding of justice go? And secondly, one interesting point that I think has to be highlighted is the way this entire thing played out. Apart from the triads and raita thing that has come out very interestingly in the last few days, we have to remember that this whole app this time used the Gurmukhi script, used a whole discourse around Khalistani and Khalistan, and thankfully that was debunked. But look at the sheer the thought that has gone into this. Because that is precisely why we need to understand that there is an entire ecosystem behind this. It is not a series of events, like we're counting events, right? The liberal Doge thing that happened, Suli deals, Bully Buy, and there'll be many more events because this is the state of affairs that there is. But there is an entire ecosystem under the table which we have to address. And that is the ecosystem of radicalization. That is the ecosystem of youth, both men and women, but particularly men, who are not just viewing women as inherently sexual objects, but also who have a taste. If you look at Alishan Jaffrey's thread yesterday, it is a thread that most of us will not be able to go through. The taste of violence, the desire for control and violence that has been instilled into these boys, and is also being inculcated into many women wonderfully, is something that is that is terrifying, but it's also not surprising, because if we speak of youth, for instance, and if we speak of an inherent innocence of youth, we have to remember that only last month a few school children who are 7 or 8 or 10 years old rejected food made by their Dalit cook. So what I'm trying to say is that to wash our hands off and say that ye log to bacche hain, ignores the fact that if they are children, agar wo physically bacche hain, they are minors, it's an even bigger problem for us, because it is not just about we can't just say that acha bacche hain, their family will deal with it. It's about our entire society, and I would like to argue that despite our attempts to say that this is not who we are, this whole idea of ye kaise ho gaya, how is this happening, this has been an inherent part of Indian culture of for so long. Otherwise, how would Gujarat happen? How would so many such events happen? And finally, I think I would like to say something directly to many of these women who have been on these lists, and that is the trauma that all of you have been through cannot be weighed and cannot be quantified. And as Shayma Mohsin Sahiba just said, that if there are people who are adding on to this trauma by saying that you should delete your photos, you should go off social media, this is, ye karne se ye hoga types, then I would advise these women that, first of all, please ignore all such nonsense that is being directed at you. This kind of victim blaming, this kind of gaslighting, this kind of adding on, piling on to the culture. This is the kind of advice, this is the kind of nonsense that actually works in that same trad and raita kind of framework. And you should totally reject all of this. And one thing I would like to say is that the question of dehumanization, the question of robbing of dignity. I'm done. Yeah, the question of robbing of dignity and dehumanization, that is very evident. Allah Ta'ala in the Quran tells us that He has blessed, He has given humans dignity. Humne insan ko izzat bakshi hai. So dignity is something that has been given to us as human beings by our Creator, and that is not something that can be so easily robbed by the ill actions and the evil thoughts of our fellow beings. So let us not be afraid. If they threaten us with more and more, then we will continue to struggle, we will continue to survive as we have done so far. And I would just like to again extend my solidarity to all the people who have and are undergoing so much of trauma because of these kind of incidents. But their resilience, their ability to speak out and reject everything that is being thrown at them has brought about these arrests, has brought about this entire outrage. It has not been, these arrests and this outrage has not been brought about by the goodwill of the government, the goodwill of the state, or the goodwill of Mumbai police or Delhi police. They have been forcibly dragged and forced to do this, and so we must stand with them wholeheartedly. Thank you so much.